and I know that I'm helping people. But the scary thing is when you go deeper down the rabbit hole, you understand that that's why they dislike me.
Yeah,
they
definitely.
dislike me because I help people.
Yeah.
What is the final barrier? The final barrier to the slave programming is always going to be God, because there's a firm right and there's a firm wrong. They're going to come along and convince us all that the sky is green. And it's unfortunate because slowly they're going to win. Right now, we laugh at the fact that a man can chop his dick off and become a girl. We laugh at that. But our great-grandchildren won't laugh at that idea. Unfortunately, slowly they're creeping in. And the only barrier to this insanity, the final protection, is God, the book that says yes and no. Simple. The goal of the Matrix, and the primary goal, is for them to get you in a position where you'll accept the slave programming regardless of what your own eyes tell you. That's their primary goal. Their primary goal is for you to walk through life with a mask on, full of vaccine, seeing everyone around you fully functioning and healthy and scared of a pandemic. Or walking through life and meeting a nice gentleman and calling him a man. That's what they want. They want you to ignore your eyes. So, and it's unfortunate, they've already got a huge percentage of the populace there who will walk outside and see the sky is blue, watch the news and being told it's pink, and look at it and go, oh, I must have made a mistake.
Yeah,
it's
it must have made a mistake, yeah.
So that's their primary goal, and religion prevents that. So they've come along and they've deliberately assaulted God, and they've assaulted the Christian faith, and it was a test for the Christian people to stand up and resist, and they failed. So when they complain now about Islam conquering Western nations, I say, well, you failed. You failed. It's now a power vacuum. Power vacuums get filled, and anybody with a true heart and true conviction who truly wants to respect God is going to be attracted to the Islamic faith because you have failed. I don't want, bro, if you're going to go to war, which I just described, because war is nothing other than controlling of ideas. That's all war is. The reason we send tanks to some random field and blow things apart is to gain influence over a geographical area so we can control,
power, yeah,
to control the ideas of that area. So I just described a war to you. It's a spiritual war, but it is a genuine war. If I'm going to go to war against Satanists who are going to try and poison my children and enslave me, who do I want on my team? Think about it. You're about to go into a bar fight. You want to roll with the G's, or you want to roll with a bunch of pussies? It's a war. And if every time I say to Christians, bro, look what they're doing to Christianity, and their answer is, yeah, well, yeah, I pray for them. Bro, no. Haram. Haram.
It's
Haram.
interesting. It's interesting because speaking about it now, everything you just said there is pretty much written in the Quran that there's going to be a war coming against the Muslims versus the rest, in the sense of, well, they're going to try and take everyone away from Islam and try and do that. But obviously the true Islams are going to stay there. Now, it's interesting because with recent technologies, what I've heard in Islam is that the way they try to do it is they want to combine technology with human to create the same power as God. Yeah. Right? Now, I look at things like, this might be a conspiracy once again, but the new Apple Vision Pro that's just come out. Yeah. I look at that and thinking, so you basically want everyone to wear headsets out and about around the whole world and just live, that's fully living in the Matrix.
In the Matrix, bro, yeah. It's scary. And like I said, we will laugh at that. But as technology progresses and our children's children, you're right. People are going to be living completely in a digital world with little glasses on. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen the Apple Vision Pro. I've seen some of the things it can do. I refuse to put it on because I have balls, so I can't. But if once they reduce it to, let's say, the size of my sunglasses,
then it's going to be scary.
It's going to be crazy,
yeah.
Right? So, and that's where technology is going. It's heading in one direction, and that's actually the most interesting thing because empires rise and fall, and we can discuss the falling of the Western Hemisphere at length. But usually, geopolitically, as empires rise and fall, another empire comes and fills the vacuum, as we talked about power vacuums. And I feel like this is the first time in human history where, as the Western Empire falls, which it is, it's going to be replaced with this global technological enslavement program. Yeah. There's going to be some server somewhere in Angola where no one knows where it is, and it's going to control everything and everybody. And it's not just a matter of geopolitical influence waning and politicians falling and things like used to happen before. It's actually a lot more scary. And the globalism is coming, and it can't be avoided. And I guess it's kind of like gunpowder technology like this. You can't avoid its progression. It's going to be used. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. How do you try and prepare yourself for that and counter it? It's super interesting. And we need God more than ever, that's for sure.
Definitely.
We just talked about how they're going to assault religion. But I believe all of these things are actually interlinked. It's a large web. And I think that religion is also very very closely linked to masculinity as a whole. And I think that a man who is strong of conviction, who believes in God, is something that they fear. So they also attack masculinity, and they do that by promoting feminism and also removing any man's capability or abilities to be masculine at any point. And they do that by empowering women, but also empowering the legal system to destroy men at random in the name of women. So I was accused, obviously, of the complete garbage charge of human trafficking via the lover boy method. And what they're saying is, by being nice to people, I've convinced them to do some work, and I stole the money. And the funny thing about it is they never worked. I never took the money. But the fact that they're trying to say that being nice to a girl now is manipulation. So if you beat a girl, you go to jail. Yeah. If you grab a girl by her hair, you go to jail. If you say, excuse me, please, can you come over here? You go to jail. So you can't escape this insanity anymore, and they're doing it on purpose to remove any capability at all for you to be a man. Women have all the control. We live in a matriarchy. The law is always on their side. They can lie. They can make things up. They're out to destroy you as a man no matter what. They run the household because if you say anything to her, you're going to go to jail. If they divorces you, she takes all your stuff. Like, it's a matriarchy we live under, and it's very purposeful, and it's kind of scary. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was saying, so your charges are you were nice to a girl and asked her to do TikTok and keep the money. I said, no, I didn't ask her to do anything. I was nice to a girl who had a TikTok account, and they're saying I stole the money from the TikTok account. They have no proof of this. And he said, bro, I know loads of guys who are nice to girls and buy them handbags. Every girl in Dubai is human trafficked. I was like, well, that's the exact point. Yeah. No one's not human trafficked now. So everyone's human trafficked. And the true objective of all of this insanity and the reason they attacked me, I don't know if you knew this, but I was arrested on the same day that Jeffrey Epstein had a huge break in his case.
Oh, really?
So yeah. Type in human trafficking and it's only Andrew Tate. It doesn't say. The point of this insanity is that everybody is guilty all of the time. And I don't think most people at home watching this understand if you are a red-blooded male in the world today, you are guilty of crimes. And if they come and they get your phone and they look through it, you are guilty. The time you said to your wife, I'll be home soon, is dinner ready, is controlling behavior. The time you sold your phone without paying taxes. The time you recorded yourself driving, breaking the speed limit. The time they'll get your phone and they will wreck you. And by the time they put those 8 cases together, you hire a lawyer, you're on bail, you go to trial, and they waste 3 years of your life. They bankrupt you.
Yep.
And you're stuck in this legal quagmire of lawfare. And it's kind of interesting that most people don't seem to understand. When this happened to me, I kept saying on podcasts before it happened, they're going to arrest me. My second life, they're going to get me.
You kept saying the three strikes and you're out.
3 strikes. I said, first they try and cancel you. If that fails, they put you in jail for a bullshit reason. If that fails, they kill you. And I said, they're going to arrest me. And I kept warning everyone. And then it came and people are like, why don't you just get a lawyer? And how stupid do you have to be to think that you just get a lawyer? It's a matrix attack. It's a clown world attack. The whole point is that everybody's guilty of everything all the time. And nobody who's been inside the legal system, if you haven't been through the quagmire of it yet, you don't understand exactly how guilty you are. I guarantee you, every single person watching this right now, if they get hold of your mobile phone and they get the password, they will find. See the other phones you were in a vicinity with? You could be walking through the mall and you walk past a drug dealer at the wrong time. That's enough for them. They will get something and they will wreck you. And if you're not changing your phone once a month, well, then you're walking around with criminal charges in your pocket. And this is the reality of it. So if you ever get too large, if you ever say things they don't like, because your ability to speak freely is directly correlated with your insignificance. You're only allowed to speak freely if no one listens. If people listen, then you have to be a lot more careful with what you say. Then they come along, they get your phone, and they find any excuse they can to charge you. And what did they do with me? They found me giving timings to girls who have TikTok accounts. People who were on Epstein's island used the media machine to convince everyone at home that I'm a human trafficker because I said what time to post on TikTok to some friends who said they were not human trafficked. The girls themselves are saying, we're not human trafficked. This is insane. Let him go. So it's a matrix attack. And you have to understand that you live under a system in which the government will pretend they protect you. But truthfully, the government is out for itself. And the government is aiming to get forever and endless control of your life. Every single government's objective is some form of communism where they control everything. They don't care about the prosperity. They don't care about making money. These things are kind of a illusion. Many people say, oh yeah, but the government wouldn't do that because they need people to have businesses. They need people to make money. They print the money. They make up the money. And they don't care if you starve because they'll always eat. If they cared about money, why was everyone locked in their house? Why did everyone's business get closed during COVID if they cared about money? No, they never cared about money. They don't care. What they care about is control.